Oh,
Okay, welcome to another Full Throttle Thursday. Appreciate y'all being with me. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things today. It looks like, at least at this point, the Trump administration is slowly starting to take election integrity serious. So we'll
right.
go through some of those things as well. But first, I really just want to kind of ask everybody, what do you think of Substack? What are your thoughts on it? And do you like it better than, the website? And what do you think is the coolest thing? So it looks like, Glenn, I'll ask you first.
I'm getting used to it. That's of course brand new and really don't have a whole lot of time to check it out. But when I get a chance, I log on and watch what's going on.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that
it's pretty easy. I mean, you don't even have to be, if you have you downloaded the app?
yeah,
Okay, so you don't, when you have the app, you just get a little ding ding ding, and then it's two things. It's either an email in your email address or it's on the app, and you don't have to log into either one. It's just instant right there. And the cool thing is it automatically plays and it has the subtitles on it, which again, I didn't put any of that stuff on. The quality is really good. And Carl, what about you? What are your thoughts on it? Do you like the Substack? You getting used to it?
well, for some odd reason, it quit working on my tablet and on my phone, so I had to uninstall it and then reinstall it, and that's working okay.
The
But
app, you mean?
yeah, the app.
The app. Yeah. It's,
And
there's a lot of moving parts in it. I mean, there's
that's for
so many things that you can do that it's like, I don't even know. I would love to do a tutorial for everyone, but I'm not confident yet in being able to do that. But I will say that it's pretty user friendly. There's a lot going on. And has anyone taken advantage of the little box on the bottom right that says, if you ask a question? Where you can type in whatever it is that you have a question and they instantly respond. It's obviously it's an
Oh,
AI, it's not a
I didn't
person,
see that.
but yeah, it's
I
on
don't
the app
remember.
as well. The app is pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of moving parts. So let's see who's next. Liam. What about you, Liam? You know technology a little bit more. You probably actually know more than me, or as at least as much already on the app. What are your thoughts?
I don't have the app, but
Oh,
my
you didn't? Okay.
thoughts. No, I'm stubborn. Um, I mean, it seems great so far. I haven't really had the chance to use it, but of course, the more interactive comments, I can get those
Yeah.
notifications. Exactly. It's like to get those notifications. It's like so and so replied or um, somebody subscribed to me. It's just more interactive, which is good, and it's just a relief knowing that you're on a platform that probably shouldn't be taken down compared to your website where it was always on edge. So
Exactly.
it's a good
Exactly.
direction forward.
Yeah, yeah, actually, that's true. That's absolutely true. And just so you know, I'm going to at some point follow every single one of you back. But right now, I'm trying to kind of keep it where it's just kind of just me. But what I want to do is I want to get connected with some really big accounts like Roger Stone and Dr. Robert Malone, just people like that. And then eventually, I'm going to start bringing in all the subscribers, so we'll all kind of be like interconnected. It's kind of cool because we're no longer, you know, I guess out on an island on the website where you don't know when the show is going to be up. You don't get notification. You watch the show and you comment and I comment back, but then that's it, right? It's just the website. Here, we're thrown out into the ocean and now we have all these different things and you have all this technology. If I answer you back, you get a notification that I just answered you back. So, and again, I'm a late night person, so I usually do it at night, but it's just really interactive. That's kind of the cool thing about it. What about you, Carol? You seem to have kind of figured it out, I guess more than most, because you're sending out you and Glenn are sending out gift subscriptions, and I haven't even figured that one out.
I really like it. I didn't know if I would. And I was the first thing, okay, I got to figure out another platform. But really, it's not, it's really easy. But what it's looking like is, if I'm understanding it right, you can follow people and that's free. And then you can like subscribe, and that's when you have to pay money and you get access to everything. Because like I'm not really following. I mean, so I followed everybody here, everybody here, so followed and sent some, it has Messenger on there. But then I also found, what's your friend that's the comedian, Evan Sayet.
Oh, you found Evan.
I found him.
Gotcha.
And so I just followed him, but I didn't subscribe. So apparently I'm only going to get part of his stuff because I'm not subscribing. But the wild thing is, I think one of the first people, maybe it was Gail, one of the first people that I've seen, and I think you could just subscribe to whoever. Like, I think you could just, it's weird because it almost looks like if I just wanted to pay, I could pay for any of y'all. It's like so I guess it's just weird because it's like you could just start paying on anybody's, that's wild to me. But like there's nothing on mine that anybody would need to pay for. But it's just, you can just follow people if you don't want to pay, and it's pretty wild. And I did click on the thing if you want to gift a subscription to somebody.
Yeah. And that's something that is pretty cool because honestly, it's like you don't even need a business card, like, oh, hey, check out this show. It's like, hey, what's your email address? Oh, okay, great. Hey, I'm going to send you, a complimentary subscription for a certain amount of time so you can check out this show on Substack or whatever. And then you can decide whether you want to, become a full-time subscriber. And the cool thing is that I'm using it kind of in a way where I'm not really supposed to be using it, because the majority of people on Substack do writing. They don't really do a lot of video. Most of them don't, as a matter of fact. And so for me, I'm doing just the opposite. I'm doing almost exclusive video, but I'm also throwing out, chumming, if you will, the waters with some articles that are always going to be free. And, I'm trying to kind of bring both of that together. That's why subscribing, hopefully, to mine is eventually going to resonate with a lot of people out on Substack. So, but again, there's a lot of interesting moving parts to it. I like the fact that, I can find out anything I need to know just by typing in the thing on the bottom right-hand corner, which is pretty cool. And then, like I said, putting a video up is easy. I don't have to worry about, processing times and waiting and, hokey technology. Like, I like the fact that it's really good technology and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. What
So
about
are you able
Gail?
to see?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No, good.
Yeah, are you able to see your analytics? And it's
Yes.
still good. Okay, good. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, I am. Here's the other thing. Because the website used the same financial arm, the Substack uses the same thing as well. And believe it or not, there's a button that keeps popping up in front of me, and it says, you have X amount of people from jbushow.com's website. Do you want to migrate all these people over to your Substack? And I haven't done it yet because obviously, I want to do things ethical. I don't want to just send everybody over in one shot. So what I did is I went back to the website and I put a message on, and I gave, I think 9 days notice. And I said, look, if you want, I basically said, if you don't want me to migrate everyone over when the website goes, down completely, then send me an email. And I put the email there. So I'm covering, CYA, I'm covering myself. But what I'm going to do eventually is the people that didn't necessarily subscribe to the Substack, I've offered them the opportunity and I've given them ample time. And then I'm just going to hit the migrate button. And again, people might have been paying $20 or $25 or maybe a few even, $50 or $75, not many, but a few. Some were paying 10. They're all going to be at $5. And so I'm going to kind of just migrate them over because it's the same exact financial system. You know what I mean? So, I think that's going to help me out a lot as well. Gail, sorry about that. So Gail, what are your thoughts on it? I do appreciate the fact that you are my one and only foundation member. So that's really awesome of you. God bless you for that.
Okay, well, I kind of like it. It's fine. I can still trying to get used to it. And I sent my daughter a subscription, but my younger daughter, but she can't afford to do it.
Oh, so you figured out how to send the subscriptions too?
Yeah, I did. I think, and now I thought about somebody else. There's my old boyfriend from college who never married.
Oh,
We
okay.
communicate, and so I
Look
just
at
sent him
you.
that because he's in Kentucky and he didn't like Mitch McConnell and all. I just saw on my credit card though, they're still taking the $5 out of Josh Bernstein. Is that going to stop?
On that one? Okay, I'll make sure and go in and cancel that one tonight
Yeah.
because like I said, I have access to both accounts. And
Yeah,
so
it
I'll
was
make sure that there's
330,
not
so
going to
I
be a
don't know
double
if that's just the
charge.
last one.
Yeah,
for
you know,
that
obviously
month.
no one wants a double charge, so
No,
I will take care of that as soon as we're done later tonight.
but I'm going to
But
send
that's
it to
cool.
him.
You
Take
figured
it,
it
but
out too.
he's busy a lot. I don't know if he can do that. He's still working and he's in his 80s. He
Wow.
writes he's a turf reporter,
Oh, okay.
like for horses and stuff.
So
And
any
you
chance
remained
of,
friends all
Huh?
these years? You remained
All these- Well, I didn't know how to get in touch with him. I think I would have ended up marrying him if I had had the internet back in the 70s, but it didn't. And
Was he the one that got away or what?
he's the one that got away. And
Oh, look at
nearly got
you.
married, but then he canceled it, and so he's never married. And so
are you
Oh, wow.
married? Are you married, Gail?
no, well, I'm my husband's dead now, and
So what's the holdup?
Look at Carol. What's the holdup?
I'm a mess for one thing. And he's in really good shape. I mean, he used to run marathons and stuff, and he's still in good shape for his 80s. So
Wow.
I don't think he wants to be saddled with
Could be a little
somebody.
love connection there.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Well, I'm bent over. I've got scoliosis down my back, and I try
Oh.
to stand up straight. So
Poor
I mean, I
thing.
saw him when I was in my early 60s, and I was still pretty in good shape then, but not now. So
Well, I met you was it a year ago? Year and a half ago, maybe? Yeah.
yeah. When I
When we
first
were up
came
in Prescott.
out here my first year, yeah.
Yeah, we had
in
a little lunch.
2024.
That was fun.
Mhm.
Okay, good. All right,
But
who
I'm in
was
better
next?
shape now than I was then when I saw you, but
Hi, you were fine. You met me and Lori. We had a good little lunch. I remember that.
it was nice. Thank you.
Yep. So Walter, you have probably not really experienced much of the Substack as of yet, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So when we're done afterwards, just stay after and we can figure all that stuff out. It's I think you'll like it. I think it's a lot easier. The technology is definitely better. There's no question about that. And you know, it's just like anything else, just got to get used to it. But it's a hell of a lot cheaper for me. I'm not gonna lie. No insurance, no web hosting, definitely no cost for security, you know, so it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I mean, I love the website, don't get me wrong. I mean, I took a lot of pride in it and I kept it going for as long as I could, but you know, finances are finances. You know, there wasn't much that I could do. Marlene, I'll ask you, have you had a chance to kind of play around with the Substack a little bit?
Who's she talking to?
I have. Oh, hold on.
No problem. What are your thoughts on it?
Okay, that should work. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I've had Substack for a few years. I just never really used it.
Same with me.
Yeah, I had it. I played around with it a little bit, and it's real user friendly. Like it's really easy to go, go anywhere and search for anything. But I think it'll be really great for you. So, and for everyone,
So.
and for everyone who decides to join, It'd
Yeah.
be great to have the subscribers linked over from the website, but
Yeah.
I think it's a great media outlet for you.
One of the things that I love the most about it is that they go out of their way to promote you, because you can put a subscribe button in every single thing you do, every article you write, every video you upload, all of it. And you can also put that when you do certain things like for free and things like that, you can also put the subscription button in there. And then what they do, which is the coolest thing in the world, this would have cost so much more money if I forced John to do this, where I would put a show up on the website and then I would take like a, I don't know, 2-minute, 3-minute clip and put it up on, you know, BitChute or Rumble or whatever to try to say, hey, here's a little taste, you know, come to the website, subscribe. They do that automatically. And not only that, they cut 3 or 4 little clips in the free for the free people so that they can see it. And then there's a button that says upgrade. So I really love the fact that even while I'm doing it each and every day and putting up the content, I have this entire mechanism behind me that's pushing and working on trying to get subscribers. I mean, you know, what else can you ask for? I mean, other than maybe a second tier, that would be nice. Scott, I know you're with us and I know you're not on camera. I believe you have subscribed. I'm not sure. So I'll wait for you to kind of type in your answer real quick, what you think of it and all that. And I'll take a peek at it while we're doing that. And let's get into some of the things. So I don't know if this is shocking. I think to most people it would be. The Supreme Court has ordered this Maryland alleged MS-13 gang member to be removed from the El Salvadorian prison and brought back. Haven't tried it yet. Are you subscribed, Scott? I wasn't sure if you were yet. So they want to send this guy back from the El Salvadorian prison back to the United States. Here's the weird thing. It was a 9-0 decision. There was no dissent, nothing. Not
It was
Clarence Thomas.
the Supreme Court. Was that the Supreme Court or the
Yes,
Maryland?
it was. No, it was the Supreme Court. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, okay, why would Alito, why would Gorsuch, and why would Thomas, those are the 3 most conservative members on the court, why would they want an alleged MS-13 gang member to be brought back to the United States? I can't think of a reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the attorney. Okay? Walter, we're going to start with you on this one. Why would the Supreme Court rule 9-0? And they said that it was, quote, some type of administrative error, but there was literally no dissent. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm sure how they're going to couch it is that it's going to be that the illegal immigrant needs to have his due process rights addressed by a court somehow before he is picked up by ICE. They have to give him a chance to take whatever measures he can legally take to prevent his being deported. Because
Okay.
I know that was a big issue when the judge made his first ruling, the district court judge, and when Roberts, amazingly enough, Chief Justice Roberts put a freeze on the
Right.
district court's ruling, saying that no, they can't bring him back until the Supreme Court's made their ruling. So I'm sure that there's some language in there about he needs to make sure that his due process rights get addressed, and that it can't just be a scoop them up and kick them out type operation.
So this is, so in your opinion, this is kind of like not really reflective of the entire court. They're saying that this might have been a, quote, administrative error, or he wasn't supposed to go to El Salvador because apparently his life would have been in danger. But yet he's living amongst us, right? He's got children, he's married, all this and that. He's living pretty close actually to, you know, Washington and everything else. But he's a known gang member who is likely child trafficked, probably drug trafficked, maybe killed people. So I'm still trying to figure out, like, why would they do that? I mean, how can you, as an illegal alien, have due process rights? That'd be my other question.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But
I
Gail,
agree. And also the problem is that anytime you have any kind of judicial proceeding, the party that's being summoned to the court, they have to be served
yeah,
by a sheriff or by a marshal or served by somebody. So to me, that gives them notice that, okay, ICE is coming after you, number one, and then number two, if you can just duck service, then you can stay in the country.
but what about all these other people that have been rounded up already, hundreds and thousands of them? They didn't technically get any warning or due process or anything like that, but yet they seem to be gone and you know, good riddance, and there's no legal challenges or anything going on with those. So
Well, something you have to consider, Josh, though, is that there's probably tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of them that when they were first detained by ICE before being released, they were given a hearing date. So there's hundreds of thousands of them out there who had a hearing date and chose
right,
to ignore it. So at that
exactly.
point, ICE can go pick them up and then kick them out.
That's a good point. So in other words, they have been kind of given warning or notice or due process, and they ignored it. So now it makes it so, hey, we gave you a shot, you ignored it, now we're coming to get you. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. That's a good point.
Right.
So, all right, Gail, you were up next on this one. So 9-0 decision, Supreme Court ruling in favor of a MS-13 alleged gang member. What do you think is all
I
about
don't
that?
understand how, I can understand to protect an alien who's here with the right paperwork. But, you know, the same way as a citizen. But people that sneak into the country and are committing crimes, how do they get, I don't, does the Constitution allow for them with, it doesn't even, maybe it does, it's very vague and it just doesn't.
You know what? Hold that thought, because I'm going to actually type this in. Do illegal aliens in the United States have due
Constitutional.
process rights? I don't think they do.
Well,
It says yes. Illegal aliens in the United States, also known as undocumented immigrants, are entitled to due process rights under the 5th and 14th Amendments of the Constitution. These rights guarantee fair legal procedures and protection against arbitrary government actions, regardless of immigration status. Wow, that's that's kind of a shocker, is it not?
Those amendments, the 5th and the 14th, they said?
Yeah,
I gotta
Yeah.
look those up.
I know, right? That's kind of shocking. I think
Oh,
we need a constitutional amendment
oh yeah.
to change that. I mean, you know, that doesn't. So that means what? We're an illegal alien. We go to, I don't know, Mexico, right? And we're found to be an illegal from the United States. And I scream, I have my due process rights in your Constitution? Are we the only Constitution stupid enough to have that? I don't know. I mean, it seems pretty dumb,
Right.
if you ask me. Carol, what do you think about it?
I mean, I think we're the only country stupid enough that, yeah, we do that. I mean, aren't we the only ones that have you know, if you have your baby over here, you're automatically, they're a citizen. I mean, that sounds like some dumb stuff that we do that we need to stop doing. And about the El Salvadorian, I'm just wondering if there's more to the story that we don't know.
Right. I was
I
thinking
hear.
that as well. They said that there was some type around the world. Let me see here. What? They said that there was some type of issue where they might have made a mistake or something. So I just put in how many countries around the world where illegal aliens have due process rights, but I didn't really get much. I didn't see anything else out here, but I don't know. I have to look at that a little bit closer. But yeah, they said that there was some kind of issue where, let's see, last Friday, U.S. District Judge for Maryland, Paula Zenas, ordered the Trump administration to return alleged MS-13 gang member to the United States after he was deported to El Salvador's notorious Seacoast prison. On Monday, Supreme Court Chief Justice temporarily blocked that, but then, of course, they made the decision today. President Trump asked them to intervene, and the lawyers obviously challenged the stay. But this article doesn't go any further into what happened or why it happened. It says the Supreme Court is requiring the Trump administration to facilitate the return of the Maryland man deported last month to that notorious prison, where they say, due to what officials describe as an administrative error. What kind of error could you have if you're a known gang member? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think this is reflective of the totality of the decision making of the Supreme Court the way it is right now. I think the left would, regardless, right? But not the entire court. And I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a situation where we're going to have 9-0 decisions for every gang member in the future that is going to say, oh, no, you have to bring those back. Because obviously they shot down Boasberg, right? They killed that order. So, again, it's just kind of a weird thing. So we'll see what happens here.
Is the 14th Amendment the one that was applying to slaves?
Yeah, I believe so.
That was mainly for that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
These people weren't brought here against their will and made to be workers here by force. I don't think that should apply, that 14th Amendment, to them.
It's definitely strange. I don't understand why they did that, but who knows?
Well,
I guess it was an administrative thing. So
let me give you guys a little insight. Anytime the court wants to do something that it does not have bold justification for, they wrap it into the 14th Amendment. That's like the catch-all when they want to get a certain result really badly, but they don't have the justification. They just say, oh, it's an equal rights issue. So it'll be 14th Amendment.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have anything else? Because, I mean, everyone could either kind of say the same thing or whatever, but I was going to move on and then go the opposite direction so I can include everybody else. Go ahead, Glenn.
Isn't that El Salvador, that prison where they made it kind of like the Powerpuff Girl prison? Where they're just like, everybody is learning something. Didn't it?
No. The COCOT one is the bad one. That's the one where they're chained and locked up and they're put, 70 bunks high in the same bunk with no room. They go to the bathroom, in front of everybody. Like it's brutal. I mean, 23.5 hours a day. They're locked in a cage. They get 30 minutes a day. The other prisons basically are for, I guess, less offenses, maybe somebody that, stole something or whatever it might be. And they might have 2 or 3 year sentences. And those are the people that they're trying to rehabilitate. They're sewing uniforms for the schools. They're milking cows. They're doing farm work. They're doing construction work. Those are the ones that they're kind of like working. And according to that video, for every day that they work, like an 8-hour shift, they get 2 days off their sentence.
Right.
And then hopefully they won't have a recidivism rate that is very high. They said in that video that it's extremely low because now they're coming out with a skill set. I'm telling you right now, America's prisons should do the exact same thing. We would have so many less violent criminals out there on the streets because they would have gained a skill. They could work with a company or whatever, get hired, do work, and then open up their own business and expand even more. So, Liam, what's your thoughts here on it?
I mean, just excuse me, just my real quick take. Not that I really trust anything the Gateway Pundit posts, but it doesn't say that he was illegal. So was he illegal in the first place? Was he some green card holder that did a crime?
Right. As far as I know, he was an undocumented immigrant.
Okay.
So again, it's weird that America would offer undocumented people that are here illegally due process rights, but sadly, that's what the Constitution says. So
I'm just gonna have to agree with Walter because I don't have
Really?
anything else to say. It doesn't make sense.
yeah, yeah.
I gotta read that
Okay.
amendment.
Carl, what about you? What are your thoughts, real quick, and then we'll move on to the next topic here.
Oh, golly. I was looking at stuff up about the 14th Amendment while we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Oh, golly, I don't know right now.
Okay. All right, no problem. So here's some interesting stuff. Tulsi Gabbard has said, well, we already know this. I mean, this is not, this is not breaking news by any stretch. Yes, we know these machines can be manipulated. So she's out there saying that as the director of national intelligence, let me see, it's more than likely this is going to be an ad first, right? It's always that way. So let me see if I can just mute it. Yeah, we'll get an ad, get out of these ads first, and then I'll play it. But it's a real short clip. She's basically talking about how we need to get rid of the machines, which is amazing to hear this.
The best going after this, election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time, and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections. We're investigating.
So that's really, really cool. When the director of director of national intelligence,
I'd like to tell you,
is actually talking about that. President Trump obviously wants to get rid of the machines as well. They also just passed the SAVE Act, I believe today, again. So let me see here. House passes the SAVE Act. 208 Democrats voted for illegal aliens to continue to vote in our elections. That should be a story in and of itself, to think that the members of the House of Representatives completely are on board. 100% that party is on board with fraudulent elections, which goes to show you they can't win without stealing elections, right? So let's start with you, Glenn. So you have some pretty interesting developments here. You've got the election integrity executive order that was signed by Trump last week. You've got the director of national intelligence now talking about how they want to get rid of these machines. President Trump has talked about that, and they mandated voter ID, at least so far in the House. Obviously, it's got to go to the Senate. So what are your thoughts here? Do you think that we're finally going to get real, long-lasting election integrity?
I would hope that it'll stick if they do, if Trump gets it passed. That the biggest problem is, you get somebody that works on getting everything ironed out. And then you have somebody that just comes and knocks everything over and ruins it all again, So they need to figure out a way to stop it from being reversed. So I mean, if you can do it for the next 4 years or hopefully 12 years, but if a Democrat party gets back in, are they just going to wave the magic wand just like, Tapioca Brains did and shut down all the pipelines? And, I mean, he just reversed everything that, Trump did for 4 years, and
Exactly.
and it was an uphill battle for him to do it all,
And that's why everything happening right now, as good as it is, it's all AstroTurf. Nothing has been codified into law, including, by the way, the No Rogues Ruling Act, which apparently right now the Senate has kicked. They have kicked it to when they come back because they're working on the quote unquote big beautiful bill right now, which passed the House, by the way, and now they're trying to get that signed into law, possibly by Friday night. I don't know if that's going to happen. It looks like they want a lot more spending cuts. And it looks like Johnson said something about he guarantees there'll be 1.5 trillion cuts, wink, wink, over 10 years. That's nothing. That's $150 billion. It won't even do anything, you know, or in Yiddish, they say
It's
bupkis, nothing.
ridiculous.
That's what, I mean, it's nothing. So, and where are the Doge cuts in this as well? So again, I don't trust Congress, and I agree with you, Glenn. Why should we trust Congress? They've done nothing but lie. But
Right.
I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens. I've said this before. Elon Musk can be the consigliere. He can be the enforcer. He can basically come in there and say, look, you're going to sign on or your careers are over. But that, if I was the advisor to President Trump, that's what I would tell him. Use this man, who is the wealthiest man in the entire world, to be the hammer for you to get your legislation done. I don't know why it's not happening. It's crazy. So, Carl, we're going back the other way. So, Carl, you're next. You think we're going to get long-lasting election integrity?
That depends on how these people vote, especially some of the rhinos, because you never know how they're going to vote, where they'll go
But that
away.
goes back to what I'm saying. We wouldn't
Yeah.
have any rhinos if Elon Musk took them aside and said, if you don't vote for our agenda, this is going to be the last vote you do. You're going to be out of Congress. And I don't know why. Look, it's sad that we have to do that, but the only way we're going to codify this stuff is to strong arm these people and break necks if we have to
That's
get
what
them
the
to do it.
Democrats do.
Of
Didn't
course
they do
they
that?
do. Yeah, absolutely. If you don't vote for this Green New Steel, we're going to run somebody else in front of you and we're going to kick you out of Congress and you'll never be a lobbyist and you'll never make any money. And by the way, the pictures of you with the 3 Filipino boys will be on the New York Times headline tomorrow morning. You're right. That's exactly what they do. But Republicans don't do that. Why? I don't know. I can't understand it myself. So, Liam, you're next on this. Are we going to get long-lasting election integrity?
Again, just have to agree with what y'all are saying. We just got to keep pushing them and, you know, get this legislation passed. For example, at least we got, I mean, this is a bit of a separate topic, but if we can get something like the No Rogue Rulings Act passed, at least in the House for now, it should fly by in the Senate.
Well, it did pass the House.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if we can, I know we were putting a lot of force on that and we got it to pass, and we can do the same thing with the election integrity stuff. And, you know, it just takes a bit of effort. Now, my only concern is that elections are supposed to be administered by the state. So, I mean, who is the federal
They
government?
still would be. They still would be. It's just telling the states that you have to have voter ID in every state.
How do
So
they
it's not
enforce it?
necessarily federalizing the election. It's just mandating that you have to have voter ID.
But how do you tell the blue states or the quote unquote swing states that you have to enforce this? What you
Because if it's signed into law, it'll be a federal law. They're going to have to agree to it.
I mean, they can still break the law anyway, knowing these people.
I mean, I guess they could, but you know, when you think about President Trump, he won every state that had voter ID, except for I think New Hampshire. That was the only one because they have voter ID, and that was the only one. But all the other states that had voter ID, he won. All the states that don't have voter ID, she won. So I mean, it's as clear as day, you know. So, all right, who was next up on that? It was Carol. What do you think, Carol? Are we going to get finally long-lasting election integrity? I mean, we do have 3 years and 9 months to get it done. So,
I think it's going to be a major fight, like you said. The states that, so there's a lot of the, you know, the deep state that don't want it. You know, don't want election integrity. So I think it's going to be a major fight. But I think like right now, I don't think that's kind of. I think Trump wants it to be, but I think that's kind of like not. I think right now he's focusing on the tariffs and the Doge. So I don't just think like that's like the first thing on his agenda right now. But you know, we have 3.5
and
more
you
years
would think
to go.
it would be. He had an election stolen from him
I
4
know.
years ago. What the hell?
I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
he's got his own timing. You got to trust him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that too. So, Gail, what are your thoughts here? I know it's we're almost at the end here anyway, but election integrity finally.
I am very pessimistic because I think the rhinos are in there with the Democrats. And unless, like you said, do the strong arm thing, Tulsi Gabbard seems like she has a few balls. Maybe she can also do that. And, you know, to utilize these people that do want to do the right thing to really push on these people and find out who's in bed with who and blackmail them essentially. You either vote this way or you're going to be out
Exactly.
with a scandal. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're
Gotcha.
afraid to do that.
I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's ask the attorney. What do you think, Walter, on this one? Are we gonna get election integrity? I know that a lot of times you say the opposite of everybody else. So what do you got? I can't hear you. You must be muted.
I don't think we're going to get it yet because the Democrats are way too motivated because they can't win a valid, fair election. And I also share Liam's concerns because, as you know, federal law, for instance, like illegals voting in elections, they separate that out. So when it's a federal election, they can't do it. But when it's a state election, they can't. I mean, when it's a federal, right. And when it's a state election, they can. And there's always going to be that separation because, as Liam correctly points out, the Constitution directs that elections are to be supervised and run by the states. So I think it's going to take individual acts by each state to pass election integrity to make it Loctite and solid. We might be able to get it done on the federal level, but that won't prevent corruption from being perpetrated at the state level.
Right. Well, look, I mean, we saw in Wisconsin, we put the vote in front of the people and they chose the correct way, right? They wanted to codify in their constitution mandatory voter ID. Now, they already had voter ID in the state. It just was not like mandated. You know what I mean? It was suggested basically, and this now codifies it where they have to have it. Actually, Wisconsin is one of those states where, believe it or not, it's a lot harder to cheat, even on mail-in ballots, because you have to have an affidavit signature and it has to be notarized. It's one of the few states that actually does that. Believe it or not, in my research for Preserving Liberty, what I find out was solidly red states have looser election laws than even some of the blue states. I was shocked. If you look at the first chapter and you go through all the stuff on the election, you'll see what I'm talking about when I put the ballot harvesting and all the different state rules and things like that. Here's
I'll tell you, I was very surprised. I went to vote in a minor election last weekend, and the young lady in front of me in line, she presented her ID, which was a credit card. No picture, no state certification. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, do I really want to raise a big stink? And then, unfortunately, and I know I'm dumb, I remembered, oh, wait a minute. I have a pistol on my hip in a voting station. Maybe I shouldn't raise a stink. So I did not. But I was amazed. I thought that Louisiana was stronger on that. But
yeah,
the lady just gave the poll worker the credit card and they did the process. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know red states like Idaho or Arkansas, or actually Arkansas is actually pretty strong, but like Idaho and Kansas and some of those states, they're pretty laxed on a lot of the stuff. It's kind of surprising because you would think if they're lax in their elections, how are they still red states, right? I mean, typically what happens to red states is blue cheat and they take over the red and then it becomes a blue state, right? That's usually what happens. So it's amazing that the red states are still remaining red, even though their ballot initiatives and mail-in laws and guidelines are all really, really laxed. It's kind of scary. You think about
they must
it.
have the smart red people.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They probably do. So all right, so that was a lot of interesting stuff. My thought to end it would be, if we're going to get anything done, and I mean anything done, we are going to have to be extremely aggressive from the activist standpoint. And secondly, we're going to have to make sure that Congress is smart enough to figure out ways to get around the filibuster and the 60 vote threshold. And you can put certain bills in what are known as budget reconciliation. And a budget reconciliation, you only need a majority vote, which is 51 votes, where you can bypass all the liberals in the Senate and everything else that are holding you up. The thing is that when Thune took over, he promised the Democrats that he will not get rid of the filibuster. So you need 60 votes, technically, in the Senate to get anything done, right? But there is other, I guess, maneuvers and things like that that you can use to get around that. And one of them is budget reconciliation, which is exactly how they are going to get the, whatever you call it, the big, beautiful, whatever bill done. They're going to use it through budget reconciliation. That's how they're going to get it done, because they can't get that done any other way, really. And I don't know. It's just one of those things where there's so much gridlock, and it's been like that for so many years. And when we're in the minority, gridlock's great, right? Obviously, we want to stop all the bad legislation. But when we're in the majority, we need to figure out ways to get this stuff codified. And that is going to be the challenge of the next 4 years. I think we can get some things done. I truly do. But all of it done? Probably not. I'll end with this. I think we can get rid of these voting machines. And yes, this is controversial. And yes, this is, some might say, dictatorial in nature. But we can get it done. President Trump can make an announcement and say, to every state in this country, you have 30 days to get rid of your voting machines. Otherwise, I will cut you off completely. All money, nothing's coming into the state. I don't care. You'll starve to death, all of you. It doesn't matter. How long do you think it's going to take for them to get rid of those machines? Less than a week? So there are ways to do it. Is that a pretty rough way to do it? Absolutely. Is it, almost dictatorship-wise? Yeah, it is. But the federal government and the president has the leverage to do things like that. We will completely cut you off 100% from everything until you get rid of the machines. That's about the only way we would be able to get rid of the machines that quickly. So anyway, those are all my thoughts for this evening. Can't wait to hear all of yours. Put them down in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next one.